Now let me just see. We're live in the. Yep, we are. Okay, good. Lovely. Okay, so back to here. Good morning, Tom. Or good afternoon, Tom. Good day. Anyway, my name's Brian Knight and I live near Melbourne in Australia, and it's just after 5:30 in the morning on a Wednesday for me. And welcome, Helen, too. Right, now, has everyone got access into the Pro Trend indicator? Did you get your hands on it, Tom?
I did, actually. I got it this morning.
Lovely, 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 lovely. All right, then we'll have a bit of a play around and a look at it. Let me, though, we'll go here first. So, welcome to this Live Forex analysis session. Please note any trades discussed here are to be classed purely as educational only, and that's because we're a group of people helping each other, and we're certainly not financial advisors. So please only take trades you're happy to take based on your own analysis. As I always suggest, when you're learning to use this or any new strategy, it is best to use a demo account until you can prove to yourself that you are profitable. Always follow proper risk management to protect your account as taught in IM Academy and the Ninja Group, as each trade carries risk as well as potential profits. There is really no need to have more than 1% of your account on any particular pair at any time in trading. So we're really looking at what the reward is in relation to what the risk is that you're going to put on trade. If the recording of this session goes anywhere and you're not already an exclusive member, then please get back to whoever is referring you to find out how you can actually get into this group and take advantage of all the things that this group has to offer. As an exclusive member, I have access to Go Live, where there are a number of traders, professional traders that trade this strategy and other profitable strategies. There is a full risk disclosure here and a little bit about us as live session traders. Okay, good, that's done. So, welcome Peter as well, and Paul, Mr. Motley's in there. Oh, wow, privilege today. So,
hey Brian, how's it going, buddy?
Good, good. Have you got your hands also?
Hey,
you got your hands also on the new? Well,
yeah, I've been having a play with it on a demo account today.
Lovely.
Lots of ups, lots and downs.
Yeah. Well, it is when you're doing anything new or trying to incorporate anything new in this. That's what's going to happen.
Well, not only that as well. The nice thing about it is it's demo.
Yeah.
So,
well, as I've said before at the start here, like demo something until you can prove that you're profitable with it. That's what needs to happen, and it's really just putting some time into it. Anyway, just looking at CAD JPY, I didn't take a trade yesterday because in Sydney, Tokyo, if you look, this is like Tokyo, they returned, went into sell and back again. This is not, if I look up on the 5 minute, just auto that there in the 1 day. There wasn't enough move. This was nice, that move there, but I didn't get into it. This was like at 5:30 my afternoon. That would have been a great trade for continuation. And if we put the straightforward Forex on, you may have got in there at London or that pullback, each one of these yellow dots, but certainly in here, that would have been, the continuation would have been great. Now, this is overnight for me. That's like 11 o'clock at night. There was no way I was awake. So this didn't give me anything because I chose not to. For me, it looked too much consolidating this up and down. But from that point, it created swing high, came back again into that spot there, and then dropped out and just kept. If you look at these, I'll show you. If you look at the smooth Taikoneshis, there is a little bit of a pickup there, and then it dropped. It just kept going back down again. Now where it is, that was like 4 in the morning when I got up this morning. That's when it has started to lift back up. I think I did say yesterday, this was where the session was going to make probably the 800 and come back past it, and then out it went. So it did fulfill that. The only thing that and also too, the 4 hour has pulled up and then coming back down again. See how it's come up to that height there, and then, it hasn't gone all the way to the top. So it's now in a push back down again. Everything's starting to sort of the 1 hour and 30 minutes down the bottom. So what do we got? More likely to pull up. So what I'm going to be looking at is at Tokyo Open, whether it's going to continue that pull up, because after a big drop down like that, and where the 800 is, it's probably going to pull back up again. And if it's in an uptrend, like it is there, well, that's a downtrend. It has been for a few days. That's the high there. So after this push down, at some point, we're going to get a push back up and potentially break that high. Let me just turn that off and that off for the moment. So that's where I'm seeing at the moment, a push back down here. It's broken this low there. So we'll just see what happens with it. Did anybody get any of this part of this trade in your waking hours? Anyone? No? Okay.
I did not. I was on the phone call with Jeff Goodwin this morning.
Oh, okay.
I really wasn't even paying attention to this.
Okay, no worries. That's all cool. So there was certainly a nice move for that. Now, you may not have forecast for this, because that 4 hours pulling up, you may have thought that was going to continue on. In this sort of lower time zone or time frame, you're really looking at the 1 hour and the 30 minute and their move rather than the 4 hour. Oh, Alistair's here too. Hey, Alistair.
Hi.
Yeah. So,
which I got to say, Jeff taught me a neat little trick this one. You want to learn it?
Yeah, please just introduce this, Tom.
Just fascinating, actually. If you take from where the JP is at the very peak,
yeah,
and draw a trend line from that top all the way down, stop right there where it's right over just the first drop to the peak, to the 5. Keep going down.
Oh, yeah, there.
Yeah, too far. Go back to that peak right there. Now clone that. Take that one right there and go from where it started, where the last one stopped, to the new one where it pulled back. Yeah, from there, and then grab that end and pull it down to where it pulled back. Now you got to leave the clone the same size.
Oh.
Just pull it over to where it pulled back. Just the end.
Yeah, this one?
Yeah, down to the next peak.
Yeah, that's what I did. I pulled it over to that.
No, one more down.
Yeah, there.
Keep going, just a little bit. Right there.
Right, yeah.
Little far, but that's all right. And then clone it again.
Yeah.
and then where it stopped to where the next pullback is. Look at that. So he's saying when these are dropping like this, clone your bar, because typically they travel the same distance as the first drop. I'm sorry, as the first pullback.
Yeah.
All the way down. You just keep cloning the bar, and it helps you stay in the trade long.
Cloning means that it creates exactly the same
size.
Yeah. Okay. No worries.
Yeah.
And it gives you, in a way, a forecasting tool to look at where it may go to from that point.
Right. And he's saying you can keep cloning that bar all the way down. You could do 4, 5, 6, whatever it is. But once it breaks that, that's when you're looking at the turnaround.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay. Gotcha. Yeah. Okay. Interesting.
Fascinating.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, if we look at with the straightforward forex, it keeps that color, the smooth Heikin-Ashi is just a staying that color. You would just stay in. It means you'd have to sort of monitor it though, unless you've got an exit tool, which Paul's got now as well. You haven't got it in your hands yet, but he's still working on it. Okay, well, that's interesting. Very interesting. Okay. So really it's about the ability to forecast and look at where things look at market structure for a swing high, and then where it comes down, and then it breaks structure, it pulls back up, and then as it's come back down, that's where you would enter in. And basically that entering is, I mean, this is basic sort of stuff. Again, here where it pulled back down, and then where it pulled back up, you'd get in at this sort of point, somewhere over here, for that buy into there, if that's what you're going to do. So what I'm looking at it for is like when, it depends on what happens now. This is a pullback here. I'm not in this trade, and I don't want to, because in another hour, spreads are going to go crazy with this. Oh, and Tom, yeah, well done yesterday. Because if we look, where was it yesterday? Right there, when the market just went, I think it was I'll come back to 1 minute. I'll just have a look at that. Sorry. Where was it, Tom?
That spike, Brian, is that the one you're talking about?
I'm trying to find where it is.
Yeah, right there.
Right there. There.
Yeah. So where I was at, I calculated it, and it was my spread had jumped to 12.5. So by the time it hit by the time that spike hit the bottom, add 12.5 to it.
Yeah, correct. I mean, you got in somewhere over here.
Yeah.
And basically we were talking here that it was turning. I said it's going to pull back down again, which it did.
And the minute it hit,
but there is no way I would have forecast this. Look at the size of the wicks there. Like on the 1 minute, it looks like a lot, but like that's 8, nearly 9 pips. And then if you add another, how many pips spread did you say, Tom?
It was 12.5.
Well, yeah. Well, see, that ends up being 20 pips.
Right.
With that plus spread, let me just have a look. So if your entry was here somewhere and you go there, it would have come all the way back down. Like that would have been where it was where it actually, so it would have been way past wherever your entry was.
No, I was down there to your left, right at the bottom of your where it's at now.
Oh, over here, where it touched the 800?
One peak over.
Oh, over here.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, it still would have been so close, it would have stopped you out.
Yeah, exactly.
But
That's why when it bounced off that purple line right there,
yeah.
right before the spike, I got out.
Yeah, okay, right. Yeah, when it came back down to there. Yeah, okay, that's the 100. Yeah, okay.
I did say close.
Yes, Alistair.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
But that is some really crazy wicking at that time there. It's like obviously a little stop hunting there, take people before it takes it off, back up again. And then it just came up to when is it? Yeah, so that's like when Tokyo, here. What was that? Yeah, when Tokyo opened, basically. Yep, or just after. Then it turned and went down. So looking at where news is, where, and if we put this back on again, session, oh, you can't see because I can't, yeah. Let me just put a line. Just about there. It pushed that bit and then off it went. So that's when Tokyo opened. And I've been thinking, I'm thinking that also Tokyo might go further into London before it closes. I'm not sure. I have to investigate that. Anyway, so there's still, like, from this sort of perspective though, let's auto back that. Still looking at the structure of the market, like it pushed up, it created a swing high, came back down, swing low to another high, back to a low, back again to a high, whatever it is, it'll come back up, right? See it just doing this little push back down there. Went past the 200, it's come back, right? So I'm going to wait until the market opens in Sydney, just before Tokyo, and look at where it's at, whether it's going to turn, and over that sort of period of time. Now, I'm going to be in the car most of the time today and away from home. So I'm going to have to check the phone and see what's going on with it. But it's easy enough to put a trade on anyway. So it has now broken structure, right? It's creating higher lows and higher highs. So that looks like it's the swing low, and you've got three. Look at this, 1, 2, 3 touches, and then off it's gone. So how long it'll do this, I don't know, but it's more likely to come back up and cross back over this 800 at some point, because yesterday, as I said here, it was above, it was more likely to go below. It did, pushed up, and then down it went below the 800. It just travels up, over it and back again, over it and back again. It just, right? So there's CAD-JPY. If we look there.
How far do you think it's going to come down?
Sorry? Now?
Yeah.
I don't think it'll break that low.
Before it goes back up?
Correct.
Wow. Okay.
Because that's the 5 minute. It's not going to have a big effect, and that's the 15. This 30 minute and the 1 hour are sitting down the bottom ready to pull back up again. So you might get this sort of like bit of consolidation. We'll get into the Sydney Asian. As soon as we get to Tokyo, then I think we'll get a lift back up again. That's me personally. And it's all about, for me, it's about forecasting what's that direction going to be for a period of time until, most likely, until London Open or pre-London Open. See, that's my waking, they're my sort of easy waking hours. And then when London opens, whether I get a trade, because it'll then potentially pre-London Open or as London opens or just after, it'll potentially go in the other direction. Because you can see what it does. Tokyo does this, goes sideways, pushes up, right? And then it just went in the other direction. So even if it was just London to New York, and when New York opened, it just continued it. So you've got to remember at the sessions, it'll either do one or two things. It will continue the direction that it has from the last session, or it'll change that direction and go another direction, the opposite direction. Simple.
On
Is it-
my session, on my sessions indicator, Tokyo
Yeah.
does lap London.
It does or doesn't? Sorry, Alistair, you're muted. Still muted.
Sorry, I'm here. It does lap
Yeah.
London.
Yeah, I think it will. I think it goes into London. That's why there's this movement a little bit after. I don't know. What time have you got? When does Tokyo close for you?
On my chart, 10 o'clock.
10.
What it says. Is that right?
Right.
10 in the morning.
Right.
On the chart, on the sessions indicator, and then London's obviously 8 o'clock. So
Yeah.
2 hours.
So there's a 2-hour overlap.
Yeah.
Okay, let me just go here. Yeah, I might not have got it right when I first.
Double check it, please.
No. It's okay. So if I change that, and that will be 19. I think that's 19. Yeah. Okay. So yeah. So that's a crossover. I'll look at that anyway. We'll just see. But maybe that's more like what it is. Because I know that Sydney closes at 5 at my time.
Want it be in your app? You've got that one you told us about. That site for the times. I forgot what it is. I've got it written down somewhere.
Yeah, I think Sydney closes at that. Yeah, and then Tokyo goes on for the extra 2 hours. That's absolutely right. See, this app doesn't allow me to do to Sydney and Tokyo, so I just got to remember. No, see, I manually put all the times in, Alistair. That's why it's like it is. But I think that makes a lot more sense now. So when Sydney finishes there, right at that time, and then yeah, Tokyo will go on for that 2 hours, which is the 2 hours at the start of the day, 7 to 9 in the morning, and then it's like 5 to 7 at night for me. Anyway, okay. I just there are movements at this when things change over from one session to another. That's all I'm looking at. Okay. And then if you want to, so who's been playing around with the straightforward indicator today? Today.
We've been told off by Kevin for doing it.
Oh, okay. Oh, yeah.
He said, "Don't touch it."
Okay.
Until there's an agreed, structure on it.
Okay. No
It's his
worries.
message. I did try it, and I did win.
Oh, lovely. Oh, that's all right then. On what time frame, Alistair?
I actually had it on the 1 minute
Okay.
when I was doing it because I had it on set for you, but it was actually on the 1 minute rather than the 2.
Okay.
Yeah.
It doesn't have to be. It's like
New Zealand card, I think it was. I
right.
mean, that was just a bit random. I just saw it and did it.
Yeah. No worries.
Paul's video was about what he was telling about it, and then I thought, okay, I'll try one. And yeah, it was so quick.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, it is. Right. For a scalper, it would be pretty good. Right now, go down and let's look at your AUD then. It is a particularly in sell trend. Look, after London, look at this, there, and then that trend out. So if you're looking at this still going in at a buy trend or buy push, even though it's a sell trend, still these are the best options and the quickest return. Some of these, this is just a pushback up because of this down here. Then it pushed back up, down it went. It's still in this downtrend, so it's creating lower lows. This, let's have a look. Yeah, it's likely that this will be a push up, and then we'll get another sell and break this low down here through the day. Whether it's in that Sydney Tokyo tends to be a lot less sort of movement, but your AUD could be good for a bit of a sell out on that one. Yeah, and you can see where the third. Yes,
I'm sorry. So I'm actually tracking this one myself.
Yeah.
Because on the higher time frame, it looks like it's gonna drop.
Yes.
But on the higher time frame, I went all the way out to 4 hour, and I got this little red box that says, hold on, it says WDN over it on the new straightforward.
Okay, hang on.
I don't know what a WDN is.
It means wave down. It was the color change. It's now called wave.
Oh, okay.
Wave, it's wave down, wave up.
Oh, because I don't have the new one. Okay, yeah.
Oh, that's
so it's
why.
wave up,
Okay.
wave down.
Wave up,
so the color change up and down are now
That's changed.
okay.
Yeah, you need to get the new one.
Oh, the new
So
one.
whatever you've got, whatever's been updated.
Okay.
Behind it.
But it's just a name change and indicator. It just yeah, okay. Yeah, it's not fundamentally doesn't change exactly where they are. It is only an actual thing on the chart, which is fair enough. But this one, I agree. I'm waiting now because we got down, push back up. I think we'll get another sell out of this, particularly with, looking at the 1 hour and the 30-minute are on their way down. So we'll get potentially at market open into Sydney, there'll be a push up, which I could see it's been overbought. We're going to sell, and then these will pick up and we'll get a sell out of it. Hopefully, that's sort of what I'm forecasting as such. But I may be wrong. There are plenty of times I can lose 1 or less %. So, and the reason why I don't want to take a trade now is because in 1 hour's time, it will change over. Spreads will go crazy. Then they'll settle down after an hour. Then Tokyo will open, and then it tends to show me what it's going to really do. Because then I'll look at the structure of the market, see whether it's created lower lows or any highs, or if it's broken anything. That's where I'll look at it and see whether I'll get into the trade. Yeah. Yeah. Okay. So Euro GBP. What did that? Wow. Look at that straight in here. If you look at it again, I'll say, so Sydney, Tokyo, and so we've got Tokyo's around about there. It just pulled back and then up it went. So smaller movements. Look at this, London. So it broke down, London opened. If you hadn't got in that, see that continuation, and then when New York opens, it's in a little bit, and then it just changed direction. come back up again. All right? But it hasn't broken that high. See that one there or there? It's just come up to that point, and then now it's turned it ready to go back down. And look at it, the 1 hour and the 30-minute, ready to turn. So it went at the start. It went above the 800, back down, retouched, passed, back over it, and then back to it. I think what it's going to do is now go down below the 800, and potentially it won't. I don't think it'll break this low here, but potentially we'll get a sell out and then back up again. Wait for the London session and then the New York. Yes? No? Good. Not hard. NZD CAD. It is in a sell trend. See, creates another low, pulls back, and 1 minute 30, 1 hour and 30 minutes up the top, ready to do another drop. Won't break that. Ooh, it just came up to that point. Look at that 1, 2, consolidated. After it's consolidated, this will be probably a nice one for a sell out. I mean, it'll do a sell, the 4 hours down the bottom. So like when stuff starts to move on this, I'm going to try and get a sell out of this in the, depends. If I'm driving, I can't do it, but when I stop, I'll have a look. And well, I might be passenger for the first bit. We'll just see what happens. If I am, I can check it out while I'm being a passenger. Then later in the afternoon, I'll be driving, so that won't matter so much. Anyway, just got to plan the day. But, you know, like that would have been there, a good trade from Tokyo session or just after it, like it was an hour after it opened. You could see it pushes up to that high, down into the trade, down to when London finished and New York opened. You could get out after London. Maybe that pullback, you might even get out there before London opens, right? Because if you think about it from an opportunity perspective, let's just do that. If you, we'll do this. If you look at this and you say like, okay, I'll get in the trade there and I'll go to that point, right? If you stayed in the trade, it would be pulling back up to there, and you wouldn't go into drawdown, but you would lessen your profit. And then you're waiting for there to go down to maybe, maybe there before New York opens, right? So I suppose what I'll do is here, think about it from a time perspective. So if you say like, oh, I'm in that trade there and I'm out of the trade over there, that's 11 hours and 40 minutes. If I go out over there, that's 5 hours and nearly 6 hours, right? So that's 5 hours extra over here. For what extra amount of, let's just talk pips at the moment. So if I go from there down to say there, that's an extra 10 pips only. Is it worth it being 5 hours for that extra 10?
Nope.
And for that pullback where you go, like you probably get like, it's got both broken structure, I've got to get out, and you would lose that amount anyway. So it's better off when it turns and comes back here to get out of the trade. Anyway, that's the way I look at it. So yeah, NCAD, ready for, it's come back up here, point, doesn't want to break through there, it's come over the top of the 800, consolidating, ready for setting, and back down out again, like it did here. Might have to wait a few hours, but then that's good. Spreads will be lower, and we'll see it come back down to the 800. And then if it breaks through that before, that'd be nice, because then it'll drop down, particularly because of those. All right, then USD CHF. Seeing you're not allowed to play around with the indicator that much, we'll see. Oh, look at that, London. Yeah, before London Open, push down, wait for London to open, you know, a couple of hours, then just went in that direction and then came to New York. New York opened a little bit after New York opened and back down again. There seems to be a bit of a pattern going on here. Yeah. And that changed direction. When it went into New York, we got a different direction. It'll either do one or two things. It will either continue the trend, you know, the move that's on in that session, or it will change the direction of that session and create a swing high or swing low. That's what I'm seeing. So that would have been a nice move. You might have got in there. So when it pushed down and came back here, you might have got in there and it would have knocked you out. The job for you would be to get back in again into that buy. See that down there, the wick down here? See how it pushed back down? So if you go like, okay, it's come for a high, and then it pulled back up, broke structure, pull back down here. At some point here, you might go, oh, I'll get in. It did push up because your forecast would be correct. It's just that this little stop hunt here would have just knocked you out.
It's 9 o'clock here. That was.
Yeah, it was. Yeah. Yeah. It's like it seems to do it after the market's open, does it? It just is like, and then takes it off in the direction it needs to or wants to. Yeah. Okay. USD CHF would have been a good trade. Again, I didn't do too much. I was doing a fair bit. Oh, look at that. And it didn't come down to that line. That would have sucked me in too.
Brian.
Yeah.
So just going back on USD CHF.
Yep.
So for 7 o'clock, when sort of Europe's twitching along, starting to go, it was at the high on the time frame for Sydney Tokyo in the UK, and then it dropped down and pulled back up, and presumably that's what you're saying, that people think it's going to go, so they got the stops below and then just come back and take them all.
Correct.
Correct. Saying?
Yeah. That's exactly what I'm saying. Yeah. And the same, if you look at Tokyo, New York, see it goes out of Sydney into New York, it's pushing up. Then what they do is they pull back down again, push it back up to revisit, like take out, because people are going, okay, let me, they're in here. It changes over from London to New York, or London's still going. It's still going in this upward direction. People are putting trades on for buys, right? They pull it back down here, push it back up, and then they take it in the opposite direction. So it's taken out all these stop losses down there and up there, and then in the direction they want it to go.
So people
same thing down here. See,
yeah. So people are taking a pullback, looking at the pullback to get then the further move up.
Correct, because they're not looking at the structure of the market. Correct. They're not looking at market structure.
Sorry, you're going to say something else. Sorry, I jumped in.
No, that's right. Oh, I was going to.
You said down here. You were saying that down here.
Yeah, over here when Tokyo was when London opened, you can see the push down here, right? And you'd go like, oh, look, it's pushed down, nearly matched up there. It's pulled back up, as I said before, and you go like, oh, that's broken structure back up. It's pulling back down here. It's going to go in the opposite direction. So they're going to put on buys. But the point is, it comes back down here and knocks out their stop loss before it does take it in that direction. Yeah.
Yeah.
So what you're saying is be wary of that.
Correct, Peter. Yeah, and it tends to happen
Regularly.
Well, this is irregular. This is irregular. This thing, this up here is regular. See,
Right.
so let me.
Spike down is irregular, and the up at the top is irregular.
Yeah, this is typically what happens. Creates a swing high, drops down, and pulls back to make a lower high. That is, and you can reverse it for buy, right?
Yeah.
This though, where you get a drop, pull back, and then it spikes down past that, is irregular, because normally what you'd see is that it'd pull up and create then a higher low and then take off. But the point is, it pushed right up to create that higher low at the 800. This is not typical. See this. We'll just go through the typical. So push down, creates a low, comes back, and then revisits, creates a higher low, and then goes off in that direction. Yeah. See here, creates a high, comes back, makes a higher, a lower high, and pushes down. Pushes here, creates a higher low there, and goes off. Right now, pushes high, creates a high low. This is irregular. If you look at it, that's sticking out like so obvious to me, because see here, push up, creates a swing high, pulls back, a lower high, down it goes. Pushes up, and then creates a lower high and pushes down. Like, that's typical, right? This is weird. This is absolutely to take out anyone that goes, oh, okay, that's now a swing low, it's matched off there, it's not going to go past this point, and it does. This is a stop loss chase, bang, and takes it off in the other direction. This is where if you get knocked out, this is an absolute prime example of quickly get back in again. Quickly get back in, because it's going to go the other direction because of that.
So
Now,
would you be safer to try and wait for, like, get the EMAs to cross and you're 5 and the 13?
no, not necessarily. You won't see that there. Like,
I
it's.
don't think you can plan.
I don't think you can preempt this. This is
No.
just the market being shits. That's all. This is just real nasty profit take stuff, and that's okay. And if you look at this whole strategy, if you lose 1% or 0.5% or whatever here, get back in again. Like, you have to practice getting the profits, and this you can't predict. So that's just the fact of trading this. Yeah. Once you get over the fact you can't win every trade, once you realize that, then you're far better off, right? Now, I wanted to say something too, just out. Oh, Tom, you want to ask a question?
No, go ahead. I'm listening.
I've had, it's just, and this is not a problem. I'm just going to make this clear. I've actually had someone reach out to me from the group and saying, oh, will you privately coach me? Like, so I will say now, no, I won't privately coach anyone in this group. What I'll do is I'll do these live sessions, and as long as you come on and ask your questions, it's like a private coaching. Does that make sense?
Of course it does.
Good. Because
You turn up, you're getting coached.
Yeah. So I just wanted to make that obvious without, no dramas. It's just I set aside this time to do this, and anybody can come on that's in the group to do that. Like, if the time doesn't suit them, fine. You can put some messages in underneath the lives and see how time-wise I can get back to them, or I can talk about whatever those questions are in the live, so to maybe answer them. That's the way I'll do this.
Would you publicly, privately coach me?
No. No, but certainly, you're like Tom, Ray, Helen, Alistair, Peter, anybody else that's here that comes onto the sessions, it's not a personal one-on-one, it's a group sort of session. And again, I don't see this as coaching. I see this as me hosting a session to allow people to ask questions for us to all clarify it. And yes, I'm one person with an input into it. So, and hopefully some of my input may help others, and other people's input will help others as well. I can't be the answer for everyone. So, if we look at USD, let's just draw a line under that. So now USD CHF is going into this consolidation, which is all cool. Again, wait for Sydney. I'm going to wait for Sydney Tokyo because the spreads will be crazy on this one. And wait for that to come out of it. Show us what its direction is. More likely, when I see this 1 hour and 30 down the bottom, we'll probably get potentially could be a pullback up. Yeah, even though the 4 hour, even though 4 hour is coming down, I think the cycle in it, you can already see that that's a swing low there. It's pulled back up. Out of this consolidation, it might push down and then back up again. So I'm just going to wait for that little action and maybe look at around where Tokyo opens. Yeah. I want to have a look at USD JPY as well and see what it did. Actually, I'm going to go to the 5 minute on it because it's just, yeah, look at the push back up again. It's still, look at that, out of Sydney, look at that, put there and just kept going up and up and up and up and then pull back. It's the same sort of thing as UJ. The US dollar is like consolidating at the moment, ready to do another push. Lower highs, higher lows is the word there. Higher lows, created high. Yes, it's broken down. Now, though, it's pushing back up. Just look at the structure of the market. It's well below, above the 800. It may come down to come up, but it just depends. It's nowhere near like it was in yesterday's session. You can see it pushed up, pull back down there, and then up it went again. What time's that? Yeah, look at that. An hour or so after Tokyo Open, it just kept going. Would have been a great trade, that. And again, this, if we look at it, if that push up, when you see it pull back down to there, probably better to get out. Why would you wait for there to get a further push up? You could then get into a trade there if you wanted to for another trade there. It's not worth being in it for that pullback.
Yeah, but how many pips is that?
That
You're
there,
gonna get
that
back in.
that drop, like if you got out somewhere there to turn back, that's like 27 pips. But from a percentage, that would have been, it depends on what your stop loss is, but then that move up there is another 37. So like the distance between that and that's what you really need to understand, that to somewhere there, or even when it turned and came back down again, it's only 11 pips, Tom, and you're going to be in it for an extra 5 hours. It's just not worth it. I don't think it is.
I don't think it is either.
Yeah. Get the move, get the initial move, and as it pulls back, get out. Then you can decide to get into another trade. But you see, that also is like a daytime move for me. That's a one single move. And then get out, go to sleep, right? What is it? Yeah, I'm going to bed here. Not waiting for that. And if we put on, which you're not allowed to do, Alistair, but if you put this on, look at it, green, 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 turn to red, get out. Simple. On the 5 minute.
I think we can play with it. But I think what I would imagine, it's not that it was said this way, but I think what Kevin's saying is not for people whacking up results.
Oh, that's okay then. All right. Yeah.
I think that's more what he's, until there's a structure, what they're going to do with it.
Yeah. So did Kevin ring on both the green and the red phone as well? Because it wasn't Paul.
It was a post. It was some comment I saw by Kevin.
Yeah, on the green or the red phone, which one?
And I think it was a.
Oh no, he's muted again.
I can't unmute myself. Yeah, I can't remember.
Okay,
One-
yeah,
Something happened. I
yeah.
was going to say, so for that, for our time, our Sydney Tokyo and that's when it opened and it just bombed straight down. That big drop was our start.
Just here.
Left.
Oh, there.
Yeah. Where the CC is,
That one there.
not to the right. There, yeah.
Yeah. That's what I'm
that's the one.
saying. Yeah, it dropped out. So that there is Tokyo, where Tokyo opens, 9. And then once Tokyo opened, that created a lower high, and then it dropped out. But then that is so. Let me say this. So typically what I see with the Tokyo one, it'll push it in the opposite direction and then it'll go again opposite to that. If you, let's go look here, similar thing. See, Sydney, Tokyo, look at this. Tokyo opens, bang, push down, and then it goes in the other direction. Right? It's short-lived. We can go over here. May not be typical, this one, I don't know. Oh yeah, Sydney, Tokyo, look, pushed down and then off it went in the opposite direction up to London. We'll go over here. Where is it? Where have we got? Here, Sydney, Tokyo, again, comes out Sydney into Tokyo, about there, pushes down and then goes in the opposite direction. Like how many days do you want me to do this for? Oh, that one.
Oh my God.
Yeah, but then again, here, see this? Tokyo, so Sydney, Tokyo, pushed down, up, and then down it went. So that was in a downtrend only purely because of that big uptrend there. I would have expected it to come back down. But you can see what I'm saying. If you pick a time, a time period in a trade. And so we've got like, yeah, Sydney does this, Tokyo, right? 9 o'clock in the morning for me, bang, it does this. And then it either this will continue up, which it did all the other days, or it just pulls up and then goes in that direction. As I said to you, a session is around that session time, you'll either get a continuation of the previous trending or you'll get a change of that trending. And it will depend, just think about it, it will depend on higher time frame trend direction. Because we're on the 1 minute, so it's going to matter the 15 to the 1 hour to the 4 hour. That's what's going to matter, or to take into consideration. Anyway, where are we now? So does that, for me, I'm just like, yeah, noticing this. So what happens now is if we look at this as a prediction, like that's been a significant push up, even though that's a buy trend. See a buy trend at a higher time frame. All right. And we look here and you go, oh, look at that. The 1 hour and the 30, they're all over the place here. This is UJ, right? Highly likely there'll be, to a certain extent, a pullback, right? And then continuation up. So when I see this, let's go now. So it'll go Sydney Asian. So as it goes in Sydney, it might pull back down a bit, go into the Tokyo session, pull there. It might just pull back down a bit and then start going back up, right? Up towards when the London opens. That's all I'm looking at for forecasts for me. If it doesn't, it pulls, and I'm going to look at the market structure. So whether it actually pulls up and creates a higher high, or it creates a lower high, it will tell me, well, it'll give me an indication of which way. And if I get in a trade and I forecast that it's going to go in a buy and it goes into a sell, what happens? I forfeit 1%, and then I actually then reevaluate and get into it for the sell. It just, not that difficult. And in actual fact, it's probably easier to do a tighter stop loss after you lose a percentage than it is pre that. And it gets your skill happening to be able to forecast a bit better based on market structure and using some of these sort of things that will help you. This is consolidating now, so it's not the time. This is if you're going to trade UJ. Yeah. How's that sound?
Good.
That's good, thank you.
Yeah. But like for Helen and Alistair and Peter and that in UK, this is probably not the type of trade you would do, because you would probably be snoozing, right? You might look at it pre-London Open when you wake up like 6 in the morning or something, and then see whether that continues or whether that's going to change direction. Reevaluation. So what I'm talking about that I do, you would need to do that as a separate sort of process, if that makes sense.
2:00 a.m. is around there is the time when there's often a, like as you're saying, as you're highlighting, yeah, 2:00 in the morning.
Yeah, yeah, which is when Tokyo, yeah, it's just after Tokyo opening. So if you want to wake up at 2 to do something, then you could. Let's go look what is Bitcoin doing at the moment. I know it's been a bit boring because it hasn't been doing too much at all. Yeah, still pretty boring. Yeah, we'll stay with the boring. Okay. Anyway, I'm going to look at the 5 pairs. We'll just see what happens after a push down like that. Let's see what happens when it breaks through and comes because of the buy trend, and also see the 30-minute and the 1 hour down the bottom. Highly likely we're going to get a pushback, and the reason why is because we've had a big push down. Well, relatively push down.
So you look at it after Tokyo opens.
Yeah, I'm going to watch it when it opens into Sydney, but around that sort of Tokyo Open or just after Tokyo Open, that's where I'm going to look at it for the longer term buy.
Yeah.
I want to, Peter, I always say this, and a mentor actually said this, the only way you need to do this is take great trades, just not any trade. You want a great trade. So I'm willing to be patient and wait for Tokyo and a bit after that, maybe 10 a.m. my morning before I look at getting into a trade, because that would create for me potentially a great trade. You can see there. Where is it there? Just there. So that's like 11 o'clock in the morning. See how it came over here? Tokyo pushed up, came back down, right? And then it went opposite. So if I'm willing to wait till 11, if I got in that trade anywhere after it pulled back just to there, that would have been a really nice, a great trade up to there. And never pulled back and just kept going. So
Yeah.
that's what I'm looking for. And then you guys are in a really lucky position. You could get into a trade at London and see that and then go, oh, I'm getting into the sell. Because if you look at it, that 30-minute and 1 hour just powering down. Yeah. And also too, after a big push up, it's going to be pulling back down. Now it's going to want to do a push back up. It's in an uptrend. Oh, blah, 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 blah. Anyway, that's enough of me, blah, blah, blah. So thank you for your time. Hey, Ray, let's get a few pips out of these today, mate. This is what is that? Wednesday. So it's the middle of my trading week. This is like, this is where stuff starts hitting the fan. You know that stuff that hits the fan?
Sure.
Yeah. This is where it gets real. Well, it gets real all the time. Look, the thing is with this new indicator, I think that my thing of not trading Monday or Friday is potentially changing by what I'm seeing. Just maybe after 12 hours on the Monday, because I still needed to see what's happening. And maybe I won't trade, after I sort of going to go to bed on a Friday night, because the market closes 7 a.m. Saturday morning for me. Different for everyone else. All right, then. Thank you very much for your time. Thanks for your questions. go out there and grab some percentages. All right. We're not allowed to talk percentage, but go out and grab them. All right. All right.
Thank you,
Cheers,
Brian.
Brian. Night, everybody.
Okay.
What do you
Yeah.
do, Brian? Don't
Take
drive
it
too
easy,
fast.
everyone. Yeah, look, and if you got
Yeah.
questions, put it under live. If you watch the replay and you like what you see, just have a chat. Thanks a lot. See you later. Ciao.